Bitcoin is about to crash to zero.
What?
Wait, let me explain. This is just a hypothetical scenario, and I am not a financial advisor, and the information provided should not be considered as investment advice. This is just theoretical. Imagine waking up one morning, grabbing your phone, checking Bitcoin, and boom, zero, nada, worthless. The biggest digital asset in history just vanished into thin air. What happens next? Economic chaos? A financial apocalypse? Or just a bunch of crypto bros crying into their hardware wallets? Let's find out what really happens if Bitcoin crashes to zero. Spoiler alert, it's wild. For those who don't know it, Bitcoin is a form of digital money, kind of like online cash. It isn't controlled by any bank or government, and it works using a special technology called blockchain to keep things secure. Instead of printing physical bills, Bitcoin is mined by computers solving complex puzzles. People use it to send and receive money online, and some even invest in it, hoping its value will rise. It's unique because it's decentralized, meaning no single person or organization owns it. Currently, the price of Bitcoin is hovering around $100,000. Before we jump into the doomsday scenario, let's talk history. Bitcoin launched in 2009, a digital currency that promised to be the future of money. Fast forward to today, it's worth hundreds of billions, accepted by major companies and even countries. Looking at you, El Salvador. But here's the thing, assets crash. Remember Lehman Brothers in 2008? Poof, gone. What about the dot-com bubble? Or even the countless crypto projects that went from hero to zero overnight? So, is Bitcoin invincible, or is it just another bubble waiting to pop? Now let's paint the worst-case scenario. What would actually make Bitcoin crash to zero? Global ban. Imagine governments worldwide outlaw Bitcoin overnight. Banks freeze accounts, exchanges shut down, mining becomes illegal. Suddenly, your Bitcoin is as useful as a floppy disk in 2025. Massive hack. A catastrophic security breach shakes confidence in Bitcoin's blockchain. If people lose trust in its security, demand plummets. And without demand, well, let's just say Bitcoin holders will be eating instant noodles for a while. Quantum computers. If quantum computing breaks Bitcoin's encryption, hackers could steal funds instantly. Investors would flee faster than you can say, private key. The ultimate whale dump. Picture this. Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever they are, wakes up one day, decides they're bored, and dumps their 1 million BTC stash on the market. Prices nosedive. Chaos ensues. The memes? Priceless. So if Bitcoin ever hits zero, who would benefit from it? Gold investors. The old school crowd will be like, told you so. Banks, they'd throw a party. No more decentralized threat. People who lost their wallets. Congrats, you're not missing out anymore. But who loses? El Salvador. Their national Bitcoin experiment? Poof. Tech billionaires. No more flexing with laser eyes on Twitter. You, if you bought Bitcoin at the highest price, and that's going to hurt everyone. But what are the chances of Bitcoin falling to zero? Let's find out what makes Bitcoin so special and unique. Network effect. Bitcoin isn't just a digital currency, it's a global community. There are millions of users, miners, developers, and investors around the world who rely on and support Bitcoin. As more people use it, the more valuable and resilient the network becomes. Think of it like Facebook. The more people that joined, the harder it became for competitors to take its place. Bitcoin has built such a massive user base that it's unlikely to suddenly vanish. Decentralization. One of Bitcoin's core principles is that it's decentralized, meaning no single person or institution has full control over it. Instead, the network operates through thousands of independent nodes, computers, spread across the globe. If one node or group of nodes fails, the rest keep the system running. This makes it extremely resistant to shutdown or manipulation. For Bitcoin to truly crash, every single node would have to fail simultaneously, which is nearly impossible due to its distributed nature. Scarcity. Bitcoin is designed to have a capped supply of 21 million coins. Scarcity often leads to value, just like rare collectibles or precious metals. As demand for Bitcoin continues to grow and the supply remains fixed, its value is likely to hold, if not increase. Even if its price dips temporarily, the underlying scarcity and its usefulness as a store of value will keep it alive. Big money involved. Major institutions, hedge funds, and even governments are heavily invested in Bitcoin, and they're not going to let it fail without trying to save it. With billions of dollars at stake, these entities have a vested interest in maintaining Bitcoin's legitimacy and value. If Bitcoin's price started to plummet, these investors would step in, whether through lobbying for favorable regulations, buying up coins to stabilize the price, or other interventions to prevent it from completely crashing. So, what's the chances of Bitcoin crashing to zero? Close to impossible, and less than 1% is highly unlikely. Sure, Bitcoin, it's volatile. It'll rise, fall, and maybe even make your heart stop a few times. But as long as there's demand, Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. And who knows? Maybe one day, one Bitcoin equals one Lamborghini. What do you think? Could Bitcoin actually hit zero, or is it here to stay? Drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe for more what-if scenarios. And remember, hold or don't, I'm not your financial advisor.